positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. You have now tuned in to Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. Yo, this is RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and this is the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Yo, listen, normally I have the Imperfect Fathers with me right now, but tonight a lot of them are indisposed right now. So I am the Imperfect Father for tonight, for the moment. We should have TR on and very shortly. He's broadcasting tonight from the hospital. Our homeboy actually went under a surgery, but I'm gonna let him talk about that once he gets on the air. But before we do all that, on these parts of the podcast, we have certain things we do, and we do them in decency and order. With that being said, we got to pray to the most perfect Father, and then we pay our bills around here. So let's go. Father God, we thank you for another week. We thank you for life, health, and strength. We are grateful for everything that we have going on in our lives, God. We understand that you are the ruler and the creator of all things. So we understand that if we continue to worship and praise you, that you will do all things and make all things work together in our good. So right now, Father, we thank you for everything going on in our lives. Right now, we ask you to bless us and give us the mercy and the grace to go over these airways, that we may help someone, not just entertain, but inspire and encourage them to be the best versions of themselves. These are our prayers to you in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So let's pay some bills around here. First sponsor of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast, those guys over at Now and Never Entertainment. So check this out. All your music needs, whether it be hip hop, gospel, R&B, those guys over at Now and Never Entertainment are phenomenal producers. They can take your idea from your head and turn it into a complete project. So if you go over there and you use the word imperfect, you'll get 50% off on any beat in the beat store. That's 50% off any beat in the beat store if you use the word imperfect. So go over there and shop smart, shop black, shop It's Now or Never Entertainment, and let them know the Imperfect Father sent you over there. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm getting a little choked up here. Another paid sponsor. Check this out. The clothes I'm wearing right now, Cassie's Classic Design. So if you need a sign, a cup, a shirt, anything printed, Cassie's Classic Design is the way to go. So if you want to get in contact with her, the way to do it is on Instagram at Cassie's_classic_design. And if you're not on Instagram, for whatever weird reason, get at her directly at Cassie'sClassicDesign@gmail.com. So check this out, y'all. Tonight we're going to be talking about, is our adulting hurting our children? That's the topic tonight. Is our adulting hurting our children? You're probably saying, yo, RJ, what are you even talking about? Is our adulting? So I'm glad you asked. I'm about to read to you something that came across my feed this week. And one of my homeboys, shout out to Tariq, he put this in a group text. So it says, I've been depressed and suicidal because of my mom's OnlyFans page. Right? Check this out. I'm 13 and my mom is 33. Things at school were great. I'm sort of short, so I get picked on sometimes, but it was manageable. That was until my classmates showed me a picture of my mom naked. I almost had a panic attack and had to be excused from the class. I ended up not showing up to school for the next few days, faking sick. I was hoping that things would cool off, but they just didn't. As soon as I got back to school, almost everyone in my class was staring and laughing at me. This has been going on for about a few weeks now. I was wondering how my classmates even got pictures, and apparently my mom advertises her OnlyFans on her personal Twitter account. Some of the students from my school follow her, so they were able to see the news, and they were being spread everywhere. I don't even have her Twitter account, so I didn't know about this at all. The worst part is when I confronted my mom about this, she told me that I was overreacting and the sex work is basically the same work as a bank or a grocery store. So she also said it makes her feel good about herself, that I should be happy that she's more confident now. I told the principal, but they couldn't suspend thousands of students for taking anyone's phone or take everyone's phone. Excuse me. I've been crying in my room every day for the past week. I don't think I could take this anymore. Yo, that is crazy. That is heartbreaking. I don't even know what else to call that. Like I'm disgusted. I feel bad for that young boy. Like one of the people in the comments today when I posted the topic of tonight's episode, they was like, "Yo, I can't even fathom this kind of behavior from my mother," and I had to agree. Like, what? I can't even sit here and begin to imagine someone being able to walk up to me, right, and say, "Yo, check your mom out. She's butt naked on the internet." Like, I can't even grasp that thought. And here we are, 2021, and this is what's going on. Now, let's talk about the numbers, right? First off, the woman is 33 years old, and she has a 13-year-old, right? So if we do a little math, if she's 33 and he's 13, she was a baby when she had him. She was very fresh early. She was literally still a baby when she had him. And this is why so many older women, especially back when I was growing up, they were hell bent on making sure that we didn't bring no babies home. And I see why now. It's not even just the fact that we wouldn't be able to take care of them then, but we still wouldn't have the wherewithal or the understanding or the maturity to take care of them at later stages of life. Because whether you know it or not, how you behave yourself is also taking care of your children. How you behave yourself is literally taking care of your children. Why? Because these day and ages, everything is being recorded. So you could do something today, it be recorded, and your child months, years later catches a glimpse of it on one of these sites, and then you have to explain what to do. So I'm sitting here just baffled because I'm like, yo, not only did you do it, Queen, like, and he found out, you okayed it. Like, she told him, wait, I gotta go back to this. She said, I believe she said the grocery store worker. She said, this is no different. They're basically the same work as a bank or grocery store. So sex work is equivalent to the bank. Like being a teller is equivalent to being a sex OnlyFans operator page. Like sex work is equivalent to working in the grocery store now. Like I'm bugging. I'm like, I'm really bugging on this, y'all. Like somebody help me. Like please, like if I'm bugging y'all, please let me know in the comments. Please. On when you guys check this out on a replay or on Apple, wherever, guys, let me know if I'm bugging. Because I don't believe that banking and grocery store working and any other job that average people have, right, should I say, is equivalent or the same as sex work. I don't know. I know and this is what I'm confused about, y'all. We're so sensitive about what people say, right? We'll jump on somebody in a heartbeat because they said something crazy. Look at Nick Cannon. Canned him. Canceled him because he said something crazy, right? But we feel liberated enough to say that OnlyFans page sex work is equivalent or the same as bank telling or grocery store work. Like, I'm just saying those two examples because those are ones she used. in this message right here. And anyone who doesn't, who's just joining us and doesn't understand what I'm talking about, I just read one of the most disturbing posts in the world from a blog site from a young man, and it's titled that I've been depressed and suicidal because my mom's OnlyFans page. Now, I'm 36 years old, right? And I've seen some things in my day. I have. I've been around a few blocks. But I can't ever say that any of my friends' moms was like naked to where we saw it and was able to tell them about it. Like, that didn't happen, right? Like, that's not something that happened, especially in our era, because, well, number one, there weren't really any cell phones like this with cameras out. You know what I mean? Those camera phones didn't really pop when I was in high school like that. So I might be dating myself a little bit, but who cares? But what I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about is like, yo, what would that even feel like? Like, what did that young boy experience in that moment? Like, yes, he had anxiety and he had to leave the classroom, but what that had to feel like the worst feeling in the world for someone else to bring you a picture of your mother showing her behind on the internet. Yo, we got to do better. I don't know the race of these people, and to be honest, I don't care. I don't care if this woman was a black woman. I don't care if she's a white woman. I don't care if she was Spanish, Arab, or what have you. I don't give a damn. The day and hour you procreated and brought life into this world, you then had a responsibility to carry yourself a certain way. Because I don't believe that we truly understand that we're literally imaging and mirroring to our children what they should be doing. Like, so many people have told me things over my lifetime, right? So many people have said things to me. And a lot of time, to be honest, they went in one ear and out the other, right? Let's be honest. We don't listen to everything people tell us. We hear it, but listen is a different story. But it's about the actions. Like children pick up on your actions. They're watching what you're doing. Yo, my daughter, she walks around this house and all she wants to do is help all day. Now you would ask, why does she want to do that? Why does she want to help clean and do all these things? Because her mother doesn't sit her behind still. She's always doing something. Whether it's in the kitchen, it's in the office, it's in the bedroom, in the living room, in the dining room, upstairs, downstairs, outside, the backyard. It doesn't matter. She's always doing something. So guess what? My little girl, she's going to image and do the things she sees, which is her mother constantly moving and doing things, moving and grooving, getting things done. My little girl, all she wants to do is serve me food. Why does she want to do that? Because she watches her mother do it. So if our children are watching our actions, we have to be responsible enough with our actions to do certain things a certain way. Like, I'm not saying that you got to walk around acting holy as thou, like you're not human. But at the end of the day, there's a certain level of respect that you got to have for yourself. And more importantly, you got to have respect for your child. Like, especially at this age, we ain't talking about a girl that's 17 pregnant with a child. No, we ain't talking about that. We're talking about a 33-year-old woman with good sense that understands right from wrong, that has a 13-year-old, not even a girl, because that's a whole nother can of worms we could open up. But you are doing this to a 13-year-old boy. That breaks my heart, because now this young man is going to look at women a certain way. He's going to treat women a certain way. He's going to behave around women a certain way. He's going to think about women a certain way. Why? Why would he think about women a certain way or this way? Because his mother has an OnlyFans page that has his peers, the kids that are around him. And come on, y'all, let's be real honest right here, my brother. I got a comment in it. What's the topic? Oh, the topic is my mom's OnlyFans page. Yes. So to the people joining me right now who think I'm just going on this weird rant, tonight we're talking about this young man, this 13-year-old young man who is literally contemplating suicide because his mom's OnlyFans page is being watched and being seen by his peers, right? And is being exposed around the school to everybody he goes to school with. So I'm just sitting here saying that we have to be better, because once you have a child, you have a responsibility to be the best version of yourself for them. Because like I was just saying a few seconds ago, it's about respect. Like that queen doesn't understand that young boy has to wear that now. Like he has to wear that unless he leaves where he's going. And think about this. Are you talking to a person who went to 7 elementary schools, 3 junior high schools, and 1 high school? I travel more than most regular kids, right? And back in my day, if I did something in one school and I left to another, I can literally get away with it, because there were no technology. There was nothing to send over back in those days. Now, this poor young man, his mom is on the internet. Well, let's see. I got another comment. What did it say? That's no queen. Well, I beg to differ, sir. I beg to differ. Just because she's not acting like she's a queen, she definitely is a queen. Every woman is a queen, as is every man is one as well. But I'm just baffled to how this became okay, right? Like there's no outrage about this. Like, how did this be okay for us to make sex work okay with grocery work? Like, because I've also been around and heard people be offended, right? Like I was talking about last week on a podcast. I was just on my last week podcast talking about how the LBG community, they'll get mad if you use the wrong letter, or we'll feel like we have to apologize if we misquote or say something wrong, because we're so sensitive as the people right now. But how are we okay in this, right? Yeah, we're backwards. We're ass backwards. Because if this is not a reason to be outraged, because this little boy, like, we don't know what he's gonna do. Like, first of all, we already know. Let's talk about children. If you was ever a child, raise your hand. Right? At some point, we was all children. And so you know how ruthless and how messed up children are. And how truthful they are too. Think about the things this boy has to hear walking down the hallways. Think about do me a favor. Put yourself in his shoes for a second. Put yourself in this young king's shoes for a second. He's got to go to school at 13 years old. That means what? He's in junior high, probably transitioning soon into high school in a couple. So yeah, he's in junior high school now. Come on, think about the thing that you were saying when you was in junior high school, and your attitude and how you carried yourself. Everything evolves. So imagine your attitude in your mouth times 10. Right? Especially by people who are in their late 30s, early 40s. Let's think about it. Your mouth was sideways. You was reckless with your mouth. So just imagine if you would have seen the picture of one of your people's, or somebody in your school's moms. How hard would you go on it? How much would you make a joke of it? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be very honest and transparent. I am a character. I am a clown. I would have made a mockery of this when I was in school. And I wouldn't have seen nothing of it. To be honest, I wouldn't have think nothing of it. I'd have joked on this for weeks. Because at the end of the day, when you're children, you're immature, you don't think about nobody else's feelings. You don't care about nobody else's emotions. So think about how brutal they were on this young king. And then for her to say what she says when he brings it to her. Now let's talk about that for a second. I've had a hard time bringing things to my mother that I've done, or we've argued about, or or things have happened. It's not an easy conversation, but I can't even imagine having to bring this conversation to my mother. But what she had to endure, right? So he brought the conversation to her, and instead of her apologizing, right? Instead of her apologizing and bringing him some sort of peace or ease, she says, oh, sex work is the same as bank telling or grocery work. And she also goes on to say, you should be happy for me because I'm more confident now. So let me tell you what I heard in that one statement. I heard a person who did not deal with their insecurities, whose insecurities are now making a complete fool of them. And anybody who follows me knows that I preach heavy on deal with your insecurities before your insecurities deal with you. So we got this 33-year-old woman, insecure as hell, right? she is literally a ball of insecurities, right? She probably don't like how she looks. She probably doesn't like what she feels, her body type, and all kinds of things. She probably just completely insecure because now she's getting these likes, money, people looking at her, this attention, and it's making her feel more confident, she said. Now, if anybody understands confidence, it would be who? Me, the Everything Confidence Building Coach. That's me. Now, I was just explaining the other day the difference between confidence and arrogance and cockiness. Now, when you're talking about confidence, confidence goes with, it helps build your self-esteem, right? So if your confidence is here and your self-esteem is here, you're well balanced. People call you a confident individual. People respect you. People like being around you. But check this out. If your confidence is up here and your self-esteem is down here, you're instantly called cocky. You're instantly called arrogant. And rightfully so. And no one wants to be around anyone who's arrogant or cocky. So guess what? If you don't take the time to deal with the things that make you feel insecure about who you are, right? If you don't take the time to do the work that's necessary to figure out why you're insecure about whatever you're insecure about, that insecurity will rear its head later on in probably one of the ugliest ways possible. And here we are, in this case, we're talking about a 33-year-old woman insecure with herself who needs the approval from strangers about her naked body, right? About her sexuality. She needs approval from an app to feel confident. So to me, and my bottom line is, you still don't feel confident, Queen, because if OnlyFans crash today or tomorrow, what happens? What happens to you? So are you really confident? Do you really have what you thought you had? If OnlyFans or your page gets destroyed today or tomorrow, what then? But at the end of the day, this young boy still has to suffer. And let me tell you something. I don't care what nobody says. You post something on the internet, it is there forever. Someone snapshotted it. Someone screenshotted it. Someone saved it. I don't care how fast you posted and deleted it. Someone has it. And just to know now, this young king's moms is literally in the phones of so many young people. Right? As we speak, it's probably being sent all over from phone to phone. Each day he has to endure more and more suffering of people finding out of his mother's activities on the internet. So what I want to do right now is say thank you. Thank you, Mama. Thank you for respecting me enough to act accordingly, right? And to hold yourself to a certain level of respect because you respected me. You respected my brother and my sister. You respected yourself. Thank you, Ma. I've never in my life thought I'd be saying this. And at the end of the day, when I get up this live, I'm going to call my mother and tell her the same thing. because I can't even understand, and I don't even. I feel for the young boy, but I can't even feel or even imagine what he truly feels, knowing his mother's OnlyFans page is being passed around. That's crazy, y'all. Like, do me a favor. If you can imagine this or this seems regular to you, let me get a 1 in the chat. Because I'm blown away by this. I've seen, like I said earlier, I've seen some things in my day, but not this. Like, I know people, like, I know women are women before their moms, like, just like fathers are men and boys before they become fathers. I get it. But man, where is your level of dignity for yourself? Because now your child has to walk up and live with this. This is crazy to me, y'all. Like, I'm just sitting here like, I don't even know what to say or think about it. So I'm just sitting here saying, man, I'm grateful that I chose the mother of my child. Like, I'm so grateful because, shoot, OnlyFans, she barely likes taking pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, and to have the audacity to tell a young king, you should feel happy because I'm more confident in myself. Mm-mm-mm. Yo, we don't understand the trauma we do to our children, y'all. We don't understand it. It's kind of sad because it's like a lot of us was taught and was raised and was reared out of trauma and not knowingly, right? Because none of our parents really understood that they were going through things growing up. Because the truth of the matter is, no one understands their situation until they're old enough to understand the situation. So I remember like hearing that my mother and them didn't realize they were broke and poor until they went to school and seeing other kids with more stuff. Right? So kids don't really understand certain things until they're exposed. But man, when we expose them to things like this and we allow them to be hurt, because this is what's going on. This young queen is allowing her son to be hurt by continuing this. Because it's not like she even has any remorse or is going to stop based upon this article. She doesn't even have a sense of, all right, you know what? Let me fall back. She wanted him to be okay with this. She wanted her young boy to be okay with going to school and some of his friends in the locker room. And all you guys out there, y'all know what locker room was like. If you think the high school hallways are ruthless and and hard to deal with, imagine dealing with a locker room. The things that are said in the locker room are even more uncensored than the things that are said in the hallways. So just imagine that this young king has to play a sport. Yo, you're talking to a guy who, all right, I know I'm gonna get some flack for this, and any of the guys who went to high school with me can vouch for this. Yo, my freshman year of high school, they took me and ripped my drawers off, right? They gave me a wedgie. They ripped my drawers off. And not only did they rip my drawers off, they ran through the hallway with my drawers, and then they went to the back of the school. They shimmied up, right? My African friend, shout out to African man, he shimmied up the pole and tied my underwears to the pole. So you guys know the stanchions, right? That the guys kick the football through at the games. Yeah, my idiot friends decided they were going to climb to the pole and put my underwears there. And every morning, they saluted my underwears when it was time to salute the flag. And that happened for almost a good year and a half because for some reason or another, no one else can get up there and take my drawers down. No one else decided to go up there and take them down. So almost for a year and change, I got clowned on it. Now, obviously, after a while, my skin is thick enough. I didn't really care too much. It became a joke that I even laughed at. But just knowing how ruthless we were to each other, I can just imagine now what this kid's gonna have to deal with. Like, man, I'm just heartbroken for this young king, man. I ain't even got too much more on this, because I really wish she understood the damage she's doing. Not right now, right? It ain't even the damage she's doing right now, because she's hurting him. Obviously, this is killing him. But later on in life, because he's 13 now, what's going to happen at 18, right? When he's really able to understand, even 16, for crying out loud. I just wish that and hope that we understand that we got to live our lives for the children we create, right? Our children didn't ask to be here, not at all. Like, our children didn't ask to say, you know what, I want to come into this world. No, we laid down in the heat of passion, in a hot moment. We created them, right? Me and my wife, we have jokes all the time, like, yo, look, we look at our two kids and be like, yeah, that's our sex. It's walking around here. Our sex has arms and legs. But it's true. Our sex created two people, two children with feelings, emotions, right? And they don't understand too many things right now because they're young, but they're gonna grow older, and they will understand later on. As the old folk used to say, by and by, they'll understand. But guess what? When they start to get older and understand, they got to deal with the reality of people who understand their reality as well. So there's things I've done when I was younger. Absolutely. Am I proud of them? No. Will I tell my children about them? Absolutely not. Unless they have the lessons on it. Like, I'll be transparent with my children to a certain extent, because at the end of the day, a lot of my dirt wasn't caught on camera. Thank God. You know what I mean? A lot of what I've done in my day, thank God there were no camera phones out there, because I would have a lot of explaining to do. But now, at this day and age, man, me being a 36-year-old father of a girl, right, and a boy, I have to live my life a certain way. I have to walk a certain way, because my son is watching. My daughter is watching. How I treat my wife, how I carry myself, how I perform when I'm on camera, with the things I say when I'm on this podcast. All these things will be watched. All these things will be accounted for. So yes, if I respect myself, number one, and if I respect my children and my wife and my lifestyle and my family, I'm gonna carry myself a certain way. I'm gonna make sure that my life and the things that I'm doing, especially on camera, is held to the highest esteem. Why? Because my son and my daughter's coming behind me to watch me. I'm not just living this life for myself no more. What I'm doing right now, I'm living for my children. I'm living so that when I'm no longer here, the legacy I leave on this earth is one that they can be proud of, not one they want to duck their head down for. So you got to ask yourself next time. You want to act a fool? You want to have some fun? You want to wild out? Ask yourself, is my children going to suffer because of this? Right? Will my little girl have to deal with this when she gets older? Will my son have to explain himself or explain his father's actions over and over again? We got to ask ourselves these questions, man. We can't keep putting ourselves and our family in predicaments all because we didn't think. Because I truly, truly think that in this situation that we're talking about right now currently, she's only looking at it from a selfish standpoint. She's only looking at it for what it's doing for her right now. I don't even, and in this, I want to give her the benefit of the doubt as a decent individual and a decent human being, to say that she's just not thinking of what it's doing to her son emotionally, spiritually. I want to give her the benefit of the doubt that she hasn't thought about that. She's too busy self-wrapped in the fact that she's more confident. She might be making a few dollars now, what have you. But I don't want to sit here and think that she's that cold-hearted or that messed up of an individual that she would literally think about her son's feelings and disregard them. I truly hope that that's not the case, because if that is the case, man, my heart truly goes out for this young king. And I'm sitting here, man. I'm sitting here going on this tangent in this long soapbox, and I realize this. I've been talking for half an hour, and even Troy didn't come back. So I really hope that he's all good in the hospital, because he was truly in the green room with me before the podcast started. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful because when I was younger, my mother used to show me things as lessons, right? She used to show me movies. She would bring me down to the hardest parts of the area we lived in. She would walk me up and down the streets, and she would show me, do you want to live like this? Is this what you want for yourself? And I would always say, no, Ma. This is not it. I want more. I want better. I don't want to live like this. And because of that, because she took time out to show me, right? And not only did she try to show me, she lived the lifestyle in front of me that I can say to this day that, yo, my mother made sure that we only seen the best of her. And when she was down and out, she showed us she was down. But when she was down, she didn't make decisions that we would have to hang our head for later. There is nothing to this day that I can say that my mother embarrassed me with. Well, I'm lying. Back in the day, she used to come to school with those nightgowns on, looking crazy especially when she was mad. She used to come to school looking crazy. So that's one of the things I told my wife that we will not do. We will not be going to our kids' school looking crazy, right? We will not be going with rollers and do-rags and all that kind of stuff. We got to present ourselves accordingly. Because seriously, even that, as much as I joke about it, that's a part of trauma, right? Because think about this. I just finished explaining earlier how ruthless kids are. And you remember how bad you were as a child. But think about this. Your moms or your friends' moms come to school looking crazy. That's ammunition, right? That's something to talk about. Yo, did you see your mom today? Like, what's wrong with your mom? Like, these are the kind of things that's going on an extremely high level. Because I'm not even sitting here saying half of the things that going through my head that what could possibly be a joke. Like, because, like I said, I was literally one of the ones who was a jokester, who would say things just because it was funny to the masses, regardless of how it made someone feel. But I didn't think about that until later on in life. I didn't have the understanding of people's feelings or emotions until later on. So we got to understand that children don't get it either. So we're sending our children into literal gladiator fields every day we send them to school. We're not sending our kids into pleasant atmospheres. Come on, y'all. Let's keep it a stack. Like, kids are ruthless, man. They are cold. They will clown you until you cry and keep clowning. How do I know? I used to be one, and I did it, and I had it done to me on multiple occasions. And let me tell y'all something. It's one thing being clowned on or something about yourself, right? Especially as a kid. And I'm going back into my childhood. So take this journey. You probably could feel it with me too, because if you was young and you got clowned on, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, when you got clowned in high school or in school period, you could deal with it, right? You laugh it off. You might sit back and throw a few jokes back. But for the most part, you got over it, depending on how severe it was. Now, think about this. If you got beat up by a smaller person, just say, whoever you are, you got beat up by a smaller person in front of the whole school. Think about how you would get clowned and how long you get clowned, right? And then we're just talking about somebody getting beat up. Like, we ain't talking about nothing else. Like something embarrassing, or you fall down in the auditorium in front of the whole school. Something embarrassing, right? You know that every time someone see you, their first thought across their mind is, aha, you bust your ass. Aha, look at you. You the one that had XYZ. And we know that. And we've all experienced it. So just think about what it made you feel like. Like how you went home that day. Remember what it felt like when somebody was clowning you and making you feel less than what you was. And if you didn't have the ability to clown back or joke back because it wasn't what you did, just think about what it felt like to have to sit there and endure it. Right? If you couldn't leave the room or couldn't leave the cafeteria or what happened to you at, think about what that made you feel like and what you had to walk around with and deal with for the rest of your day. Think about what you went home, how you wasn't okay around your family because you were still harboring those feelings from school, where you wasn't laughing and joking with your brother and sister because you were still hurt from what happened during the day. Remember those feelings? Remember what that felt like? Then going to school the next day and hearing about it again when you went to sleep and you thought that you forgot about it and everybody else did. And the first thing happened in first period or transferring in the hallway, going to second period, that same thing came back up and everybody around you laughed. Think about what that made you feel like. Go back to that feeling and emotion. Think about what that felt like going down to the cafeteria, and as soon as you walk into the cafeteria, somebody yells out, "Oh, there he go. He the one that bust his ass." Or there he go. Look at that clown over there. And the whole cafeteria goes up in an uproar, laughing and pointing. Think about what that made you feel like. Now, think about all of that. And that's still not what that young boy is going through. It's still not enough. Because no matter what you've experienced, no matter what joke or clowning someone has done to you, they weren't able to see your mother butt naked on the internet, exposing herself. No matter what. Now, yes, I've even had friends that mothers were drug addicts. And yes, I've heard people call my friend's mother a crackhead. Broke him down. Had him crying. Yeah. This is what kids do. So just imagine what a kid is saying to another kid that's seen his mother on OnlyFans. His mother, the woman that brought him into this earth, butt naked, busting it wide open on OnlyFans. We got to do better, man. Because I don't even care if it's about the money. It's not an excuse. If this is gonna be your lifestyle and this is what you chose to do, you should have thought about this before you had children. And I think that we don't really take the time. A lot of us, I can't say all of us, a lot of us don't take the time to think about what a child really means when you bring them into the earth. You're responsible for a life, right? A life that includes mind, body, soul, spirit. You're responsible for all of that until that individual or that child is able to fend for themselves and take care of themselves. And even then, you're still spiritually responsible for them, morally responsible for them. Absolutely. You're still responsible for that child. Right now, I'm 36 years old. My mother still has a responsibility to cover me in prayer. She still has a responsibility to see about me. Not that she has to, but that's what she wants to do. She feels that that's her duty as a mother still at this stage. And I'm grateful for that. But we got to understand our children didn't ask to come into this world. And we have to live accordingly to that. We got to live like, yo, we brought them into this world. We should make sure that they're okay. And not just okay by buying them clothes or giving them the latest video game or making sure that they stay fly with the latest clothes. No, that's not it. That's not all of it. It's about making sure they're mentally okay. Because you can't tell me that this young king is mentally okay when he's questioning and thinking about dismissing himself from this earth. He's thinking about killing himself because his mother has an OnlyFans page, y'all. What are we talking about? Is her OnlyFans page worth her son's life? Is your adulting, right? Is your having fun or getting to the bag worth the respect of your children? Is it worth their life? Because this young man is contemplating suicide. So we got to ask ourselves, is the things that we're doing, are the ways that we live in our lives, our actions, are those things respecting ourselves and our children and the futures of our children? Because I believe I know I might misquote the scripture, but the son will pay for the father's sins. Do you want your sons and your daughter to pay for this kind of stuff with this? I think not. So I'm going to sit here and say this before I get up out of here. To you, young man, you probably don't know who I am. I pray to God you see this. I pray to God you have opportunity to have someone wrap their arms around you and tell you that you are loved. I pray that you have someone around that builds you back up, young king. This is a blow where I can't even sit here and tell you that I understand. Because if I did, I'll be lying. Anyone knows me knows I speak from a place of my experience and that only. I can't even imagine this, young king. But what I do want to say is that God only gives his strongest warriors the hardest battles. Young king, you're stronger than me. I've never had to deal with such. But at the end of the day, you will become out of this. You will come out of this stronger. You will come out of this, young king. It's going to be hard. It's not easy, but it's doable. If you need the help, if you ever hear this, reach out. I'm here. And if I can't help, I have a team of brothers, a team of phenomenal kings that will make sure you get the help you deserve. And anyone else out there, young kings, queens alike, if you are suffering any kind of trauma of this nature, because I didn't even know this existed, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with you. I never thought about this. This was just never ran across my mind. But if you are a young king or queen and your mom or your dad is living a lifestyle that's embarrassing to you and you need some help, reach out. Don't suffer by yourself. You don't have to. There's more than enough resources out here that can help you, that can talk you through these things, that can show you a better way. My prayer to you all out there is that we understand that we have to live better for not just ourselves, but we got to live better for the ones that are coming behind us. We got to show the world a better way in our actions and how we carry ourselves. So that can be the model and the image that they take and try to duplicate, y'all. We can't keep recycling trauma. We can't keep doing it. We can't keep recycling the trauma and putting ourselves through it over and over again, generation after generation after generation. We got to stop. We got to stop the hurt. And in order to stop the hurt, y'all, in order to stop these generational curses, we have to first heal ourselves, right? We have to be open enough and realize enough that, listen, I could be walking around damaged and don't know it. I could be teaching out of trauma. I could be teaching my children from my same hurt place that I'm in. But we first got to be open to those thoughts, y'all. We first got to be willing to understand that we're not okay, and everything that we've learned wasn't the right things. We got to get okay with unlearning some things and relearning some new things. Myself personally, I understand my mom's, my grandmother, my aunts, a lot of my family was raised out of trauma. So some of the things and a lot of things that they taught me, they didn't teach me because they just wanted to. They taught me because they taught me from a place of trauma. And I understand that now as an adult. And I'm grateful for their awareness. But more so than that, I understand that I can't keep going on in life living the way I was taught, because my children is going to walk in that. My children are going to follow in my footsteps, living the exact life that I showed them. So if I don't want them to live and experience and have the same traumas that I've walked through and I survived, I've got to be better. I've got to take the time out of my life, right, out of my 24 hours, and do some personal development. I have to do some work on my spirituality. I have to take some time to work on my mentality, my mindset. All these things and more have to be done. Not because I want to boast and brag and say, you know what, RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, I'm a phenomenal coach and I've done all this personal development. No, that's not why I'm doing none of this. I'm doing this all so I can show my children better than I was shown. I want to be the image that my children look up to and say, I want to be like. And I think that's what we all should be striving for as parents. Let's make sure our kids want to look up to be like us and not the television, y'all. There is no reason why your children are looking for superheroes when you are present in their lives. My son and my daughter thinks that I'm the strongest individual in the world. They think that I cannot be hurt, even though they hurt me all the time, especially my son. He runs and kicks me in places where you already know the sun don't shine regularly. But at the end of the day, y'all, my children understand that I'm here. I'm the man. I'm present. And I'm living my life so that they can be proud of me. So we got to ask ourselves, y'all, in my closing, are we living the lives that our children can be proud of tomorrow? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing today so that tomorrow and years to come, your children can say, I'm proud of my mother. I'm proud of my father. I'm proud of the things that they've done for me. I'm proud of the work. I'm proud of the foundation that they've laid for me. These are the things that you want to hear your children say. And if that's the case, then listen, you definitely have to live as if though you want that to be said for you. Now I have a comment that came through that's almost like an essay. Let's read this. In a monarchy, a king or a queen is the head of state. As head of state, the monarchy undertakes constitutional and representational duties which have developed over the thousands of years of history. In addition to these state duties, the monarch has a less formal role as head of nation. Please stop calling people queens and kings. I'm out. I guess so. If that's the case, if for your sake, hey, people are not kings and queens. But to me, in my platform, they're kings and queens. And I'm not going to stop. Respectfully. If you don't like it, hit that peace button. No love lost. But I do appreciate the comment and you taking your time to write all those words, though. I appreciate that. But I'm about to close out of here. Before I get out of here, what I want to say is last words, guys. Let's make sure that we understand that once we create life, our lives are no longer our own, right? As long as you have another child and you create life, you can't live your life as just for yourself anymore. That goes for what you do with your children and without them. How you live your life in the street, on the internet, all these things is and will be held against you in the court of law with these camera phones out here in these streets. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm about to get up out of here. This has been an episode where I've talked my behind off. I've talked for a whole hour. I'm pretty proud of myself. If you're tired of my voice, I don't apologize. I don't care. This is I'm working on myself right now, developing myself, being a better individual, because I could have canceled the show tonight I could have said, you know what? I'm not doing none of Imperfect Fathers here tonight, but the truth of the matter is I'm here, right? And this is making me better as a podcaster. This is making me better as a man, a father, and a husband. And I believe that everything you do it. I'm sorry. Everything you do, anything you do, I can't even make my own statement right. How you do something is how you do everything. Finally got it right. How you do something is how you do everything. So I'm working on myself to do things better, right? To show up all the time, be consistent, be and always be ready so I won't have to get ready. That's what I'm working on myself personally as a man. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know in the comments if you feel a certain kind of way. If I said anything that you agree with, let me know. If I said something that you disagree with, let me know. And I'm gonna let you know now, if you disagree with me, I'm open to your disagreements, but just understand that just because you disagree with me doesn't mean I'm going to change my stance or feel bad because you don't agree with what I say. That's not gonna happen. So with that being said, guys, anyone who has joined me for the first time on the Breakthrough Kings platform, thank you very much. Anyone who's joined us for the first time on any platform that's being streamed right now, I thank you. Anybody who was chilling with us and came in and out of the broadcasting, thank you as well. I appreciate you. Let me know where you check this out from in the comments. If you're catching this on the replay, #replay. If you're catching this on the audio on Apple or Spotify, hit that like and subscribe button as well as on YouTube. I greatly appreciate it. It definitely helps us grow this channel and getting us to the next level of this podcast thing, guys. So you know our spill, you know our energy around here. Fathers, to the world, you're only a dad. That's all you are. Don't get it twisted. But on the other hand, to your family, you are the world. And don't you forget that. If that went over your head, press the replay button and listen to what I just said. Listen, guys, you know my energy and you know my style, but I'm going to give it to you anyway one more time. Be good to yourself and the ones around you. And if you can't be good to the ones around you, it's okay. Just get those folk from around you. Yo, this is RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman. And this has been the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. You guys have a phenomenal week. Be blessed. Peace, y'all.